Rory, you'll have many great memories of playing at Welford Road over a long period in a Tiger shirt, but your first appearance here wasn't actually for Leicester, it was against the club.
When I joined the Royal Air Force, I moved down to Cranwell for officer training. I moved down. It didn't take long for the Air Force to get me involved in playing rugby for them. And so while I was at IOT at Cranwell, one of my first few games was coming here to play against Tigers for the RAF. And I played against Tim Barman and John Duggan on the wings, obviously great stalwarts of Leicester Tigers. And my first experience of playing in really big ground, because I played for Middlesbrough up until then. I'd played I think I played for Durham County and some representative games for England, but never in such a big stadium as what Tiger was at the time. It was about a 15,000 seated stadium. So it was an experience, especially for a Tuesday night for an Air Force game when we had a few thousand, because normally when the Air Force played we only had about a couple of hundred.
Rory, this is the view for the generations of players running out onto the pitch, a massive occasion for any player. And also, your first season, you were still down in the dressing room, down at the bottom end of the ground before it moved over here. Yeah,
it seems such a long time ago. I mean, to me, it was a changing room, it was Leicester Tigers. I was in a changing room full of, England internationals, so it didn't make a difference what it was like, but it was fairly square. It was in the old captain's bar as was before the clubhouse end got knocked down. And literally the toilet was a hardboard sort of cubicle in the corner with a toilet in it and a door with a small little latch on it. So I just played one season there. We used to walk across the car park through a small little picket gate, white picket gate. It was fantastic.
The glamour.
But the thing that most stands out in my mind was the fact that there was always a hamburger stand there, so the wafting of burgers and fried onions coming across as you ran at the pitch at 3 o'clock, trying to concentrate. It's interesting how tradition in rugby, it's a massive thing we always talk about, tradition in rugby, but moving across here, I think some people don't realise that if you get the chance to go in the change room before a game, you'll see the shirts laid out very nicely, but they're not laid out 1 to 15 as you'd expect. Now when we first moved across, we only had 16 players, so we had 15 and one reserve, not a substitute. So when we first moved across, we were all in the one changing room. And like anything, you've got certain players who've got superstitions or preferences, shall we say. So the loose head prop, I think it was Stuart Redford at the time. I'm probably getting the wrong way around because I'm a back, I can't tell the difference. But I think he used to like sitting nearest the door, so his shirt was put there. And then we sort of went from Dusty, myself, Barry Evans, myself, and it was Steve Kenny. What's interesting is that's my memory of when we first went there, because people just did that and it just stayed.
You've travelled an awful lot in your lifetime, professionally and as a rugby player. What does the name of Leicester Tigers bring up every time you have conversations out abroad, away from the club?
Well, people always have heard of the team. That's the thing, that the sort of worldwide awareness of Leicester Tigers, and also generally they know that Welford Road as a stadium, they know that we have a big stadium. It's such a great history of Leicester Tigers, of players playing here that have graced international stage as well.
Brilliant.